Every time I go to Medina Munawwara and I see this place, tears begin to well in my eyes when I remember what happened that day when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was with Muaadh ibn Jabal. And Muaadh ibn Jabal radiallahu anhu was a very close companion to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In fact, in many ahadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions his love for Muaadh, as Muaadh had an upper hand with the people of Yemen. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam chose Muaadh to be a governor in Yemen and to go to be a teacher in Yemen, and to go to Yemen and teach the people about Islam. So the Prophet ﷺ tells Muaadh, Muaadh, I have chosen you to be that very teacher, to go to Yemen. And the Prophet ﷺ, on the day that Muaadh is leaving Medina Munawwara, walks with Muaadh. He walks with Muaadh from the vicinity of Medina Munawwara with the animal that Muaadh will ride. He walks with Muaadh from the masjid to the outskirts of Medina Munawwara. Today, if you go and visit that very place where Rasulullah walked up to with Muaadh, you will notice a roundabout and on it a gate, and they call it the gate of Medina Munawwara, the entry to Medina. And at this very point, Rasulullah turns and looks at Muaadh, and they've had a beautiful conversation from the masjid up to this area. And believe me, this was quality time. This was time that Muaadh had spent with Rasulullah on a personal level. And you will know this, that every Sahabi, every companion felt he was the closest to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Say sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Every companion used to feel that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was the pinnacle in his life. Every companion felt that they could talk to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam for anything and everything. You imagine Muaadh walking with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in his wonderful relationship with Rasulullah. He walks to the outskirts of Medina, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam turns and he says, Ya Muaadh, he says, Asa alla talqani ba'da ami hadha. He says, Ya Muaadh, we will not meet again after this year, Muaadh. Imagine the feeling that Muaadh would have had at that moment when Rasulullah ﷺ is telling a man that these guys would die for. Every companion would die for Rasulullah. Every companion would want to be in front of Rasulullah when spears, when arrows were being thrown at him. Just like Talha radiallahu anhu at the time of Uhud, when he was walking to Uhud and they were guarding Rasulullah ﷺ, he was singing a poem. He was saying, Al-wajhu li-wajhika al-wiqa'u, that Ya Rasulullah, today my face for your face is a shield. And every time an arrow or a spear was thrown at Rasulullah, Talha would jump, he would catch it in his body. He became a human shield for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This was the love of the companions. Imagine Muaadh on that day when Rasulullah says to him, Asa alla talqani ba'da ami hadha, that oh Muaadh, I don't think we will meet again after this year. Imagine what Muaadh felt like. Muaadh was going hundreds of miles away from Medina Munawwara, away from Rasulullah, away from the beloved. These men could not bear a moment away from Rasulullah, let alone thousands of miles and years. And then the Prophet ﷺ says to him, لَعَلَّكَ تَمُرُّ بِمَسْجِدِي وَبِقَبْرِي, that oh Muaadh, when you return, what you will find is my masjid and my grave. And Muaadh begins to cry. Muaadh begins to cry, Ya Rasulullah, is this the last time that I will see you? Is this it? And the Prophet ﷺ begins to cry, knowing that Rasulullah ﷺ will never see Muaadh again. And when Muaadh gets onto his ride and begins to ride, he cries his journey to Yemen, knowing that the eyes that Allah had bestowed to him had seen Rasulullah for the very last time. When Muaadh returned, he came and he saw the masjid of Rasulullah, he saw the grave of Rasulullah, he no longer saw Rasulullah. This was a man who was hurt, a man who was in pain. These were all subtle indications